Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Quick and Dirty. I am Christopher from ChinaMobileMag, and in this video I will cover the Ulefone Power 2, which we have unboxed yesterday on this channel. So this video is just about the first impressions after using the phone for roughly one day. Let's start with the design. I think it's quite decent. I mean, it's nothing special, but build quality is decent for the price tag. We have a nice metal body. Of course, there are plastic caps on the bottom and the top, but that's generally not a bad thing if they are made from a good quality, and that's definitely the case here. The body is very sturdy, and also the SIM tray is crafted very nicely, and the buttons do not rattle, which is very nice. And another thing I like is that the camera doesn't stick out of the body, which is kind of a must considering the thickness of 9.9 millimeters. Now, if you wonder why this phone is so thick, that's because of the battery. It packs a 6050 milliamps battery, like the predecessor, the Ulefone Power, which was the most successful phone made by Ulefone. But with this one, they threw in some, modern specs. So, yeah. And well, they basically try to recreate the success they had with the first Ulefone Power. Well, if this can be achieved, we will see. So let's continue with the first impressions. Now on the front, we have a solid-state fingerprint scanner or home button. So this can't be pressed, it's just a touch-sensitive button. And unlocking speed is okay. It's not the fastest, it's not this 0.1 seconds they advertise it to be, but it's still okay. Just look at this. Boom. It's roughly 1 second, so yeah. It takes a while to wake up. If you first turn it on and then unlock using the fingerprint, it actually is much faster, as you can see. But accuracy of the fingerprint scanner is pretty good, so if the accuracy is okay, or the reliability of the scanner, I think most can live with a slower unlocking time. So well, now we look at the user interface and the screen. Screen-wise, I think this panel is quite okay. It's not the best panel I've seen so far, but again, for the price tag, it's okay. Brightness seems decent, there are no bright spots. Contrast seems okay. Colors might be a little on the cooler side with a tad of a bluish tint in white, but that's nothing I personally find disturbing. What's more disturbing though is that Mediatek mirror vision is missing here. So you can't adjust the screen color and contrast to your likings. I hope they will implement this with future updates. By the way, one update arrived right after booting it for the very first time. So they're definitely updating this phone, which is nice. Right now it runs Android 7.0 Nougat with a security patch from April. That's not the latest security patch, but still decent. Not a very old patch, which is good. Yeah, let's see what they will do with it. As you can see, they customized the user interface a bit, which is kind of new for Ulefone device, because usually they just throw in a stock or close to stock Android, but now they really changed the looks a bit. The launcher is a little bit different. It has got an app drawer, but the icons are totally different, and the wallpaper is really dark. And what's kind of strange, there only are dark wallpapers, which I personally dislike, because I like to have something brighter, even though this reduces outdoor readability a little bit. But well, that's just my personal preference. As you can see, the quick settings center has been adjusted as well in terms of looks. Also, the settings app has got its own icons and stuff. But of course, the usual Android Nougat features are still there. They haven't removed that. So yeah, as you can see, interface is pretty snappy, and general performance of the phone is really good too. As you can see, it's pretty snappy and fluent, but that is to expect with a MT6750T processor. This chipset is pretty decent for the mid-range, and yeah, if you want to play games, you still can do it, but top-end games with highest graphic settings, of course, will not run smooth on this phone. You need to know this. But if you set them down, stuff like Asphalt Extreme and so on will work fine. In case of Asphalt Extreme, it's XHDPI and optimal detail, I guess, that runs smooth there. So yeah, in terms of multitasking, this phone performs pretty good as well. It's got 4 GB of RAM, which is decent for multitasking. And of course you can use the split screen feature of Android. And let me just quickly demonstrate this. Okay. App doesn't support split screen, alright. Let's try with YouTube, there we go. And let's open Chrome as the secondary app. And let's play the video. As you can see, this works just fine. So yeah. Any downsides? Well, what I find a bit annoying are those on-screen buttons. There are no touch buttons to the left and right of the home button. You can actually use the home button to navigate around the system. Let me just show you that. Tapping it once is back and tapping it long opens the app switcher. But there is no way to go back to the home screen with this button, not even when you double tap it. And that's kind of annoying because this means you can't just disable this on-screen buttons bar and only use the home button for system navigation like you would do on Meizu devices. And I really hope they will implement something like double tap for homes to return to home, so you can hide those navigation bar on the bottom of the screen to get more screen estate to use. Another thing I kinda dislike is battery life, actually. This thing packs a huge battery of 6050 milliamps, and I won't say that battery life is bad or something. But it definitely doesn't make use of the full potential it has. I can tell that already after 1 day of use. If you do lots of GPS navigation with full screen brightness, which uses a lot of energy, you still get a decent screen on time, as you can see here. It's close to 7 hours now, and once the battery is drained, it will be like 7.5 to 8 hours of screen on time, which is a very decent result. But there are phones with smaller batteries and a more powerful processor which actually do reach a longer battery life. Examples for that, for example, the Xiaomi Redmi 4 Prime or the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4X, and even the Verni Thor E, which only has a 5000 milliamps battery. In fact, it's smaller even, it's 4200 to 4500 milliamps. But it still reaches a longer screen on times, even in the same usage scenario. So battery life is good on this one, but it doesn't make use of the potential. So Ulefone really should try to optimize this a little to get more boom out of this phone. I just told you that I did lots of GPS navigation and tracking with this phone already. Yes, I indeed did, and it did work really well. Accuracy is pretty good, reception quality is really good for GPS. Let me just show you some screenshots I took from Runtastic. Here you can see it. It always is right on track, which is decent, and also in curves it stays on track. So really good GPS performance there. I have really not noticed any shortcomings yet. And yes, it also has a working compass, which is decent as well. So what's with camera? They advertise a 16 megapixel rear camera and a 13 megapixel front camera. But actually you need to know that those are not native resolutions, they are interpolated. Actually the real resolution of the cameras is 13 megapixels for the rear and 8 megapixels for the front, so nothing outstanding here. Basic camera performance is decent, the sensor is pretty good. I don't know which one they use, but it's definitely good, and it also has a decent low light performance. As you can see here, this has been taken using the LED flash, and also if you go far away from the objects you are shooting at, it works well. Here in low light conditions as well, fairly okay quality, colors look okay. An issue it has though is that it has some lens issues. They are not too bad, but you definitely notice it from time to time. Just look at this. The details here look kind of blurry on the right side of the picture, and they get better when I go to the center of the picture. So there's definitely something wrong with the lenses. I don't know if it's just my device or if this is a general issue the Ulefone Power 2 has. But it is annoying since, well, if the camera basically is decent and then they screw up lenses, it's just unfortunate. I mean, you can take really nice shots with this phone. Just look at this honeybee here. Great detail. And by the way, this thing moved while I shot it, so yeah, basically camera isn't bad. Well, let's see how it performs during a daily use. I will do some traveling with this phone during the next couple of days to take more sample shots and get a better idea about how good this camera really is or how bad it is. We will see. So yeah, that's basically it for the first impressions about the Ulefone Power 2. It looks like a decent phone that still has some software-wise shortcomings, the most important one being optimization of power consumption. Overall, as I said, decent phone. Power consumption could be better and camera lenses could be a little bit better too. But besides of that, I don't have much stuff to complain right now. And I think this will be one of the better devices Ulefone have released so far. So thanks for watching this little first impressions video. I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoy this kind of videos, give a thumbs up and well, see you in the next one then. Bye bye.